like this case sent outside of this county. And I see my time's up. There's a lot more I'd like to say, but I'm out of time. Thank you very much for your attention.
Michael Stanzel.
Mike Stanzel, 2510 96th Avenue, Court East, Edgewood. Suppose you live outside the city of Yakima, where there's no state-mandated water system plan, and Yakima has been very diligent about requiring an individual contract to every property owner for water service outside the city limits. And suppose there were 3 property owners who wanted utility service. Let's call them Mike, Don, and Kathy. And in Yakima's contract, one of the requirements was that when you applied, you had to wear a big red clown nose and a polka dot outfit with big floppy shoes. And Don and Kathy both said they'll do it, but property owner Mike says no way, he'll find another source of water. So Yakima's water line runs to Don's house, past Mike's house, and over to Kathy's house. And that's perfectly legitimate in eastern Washington. It's not legal in Pierce County or King County or a bunch of counties over here in western Washington where there's a lot of growth. The state legislature mandated that there be a coordinated water system plan. Tom Heineke was the president of the committee, where each of water utilities service areas are identified. But the Yakima case scenario is what our good friend Mr. McLean and the past council were trying to create with their new municipal code. Unfortunately, that means that there are a lot of misstatements. It says, for many years, the city has required annexation or a contract to annex as a condition of service. That's not true. I could only come up with 10 contracts. Most of the properties in North Puyallup don't have a specific contract. Puyallup's code says that cities are not required to provide water or sewer service outside their city limits, and that's absolutely true. The part that was left out was, comma, unless there's a contract. And a contract can be implied, like when there are a whole lot of connections that don't have specific contracts. But that's not even important, because I've given you copies of the Standard Service Agreement, the City Comprehensive Plan, the memo signed by Mr. Heineke and Mr. Utterback, and the minutes from the hearings examiners meetings where all the staff claim to be the water utility. So, you know what this reminds me of? Remember that commercial where a mom is talking to a couple of mobsters in her kitchen and says she's going to have to block them because she thought it was too graphic for her kids when they hit Vinny in the head with a shovel? And the mobster says, I do not recall that incident. And she says, well, of course not. But that's what it reminds me of. Deny what is obvious and then argue. Thank you.
Mary Lee Doran.